Yeah! Welcome back, people. Yes, I'm live. I know you've been waiting. Listen, I want to thank you guys so much for being with me here with this new audio episode. Hopefully, it's coming clear. But if not, we're going to roll with it anyway. Thank you. Listen, I want to thank you guys so much for being with me here on this new audio episode, Ocean Gate, the reason man hasn't discovered the deep blue sea. Yes, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get in today what went wrong and why it all went wrong. But before we get into that, make sure you guys like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Zaydon, for more great content. Thank you. Listen, it's going to be an incredible, new, exciting, new audio episode. Ocean Gate, the new Titanic. So, if you guys are just now tuning in, make sure you guys share this video, like this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel because we haven't lost no followers. We haven't lost no followers. All right. I mean, where do I even want to start? Where do I want to begin? So let's just take it back to 19 whatever it was when the Titanic sank. If you guys don't know, or you guys probably should know if you are living in this millennia, you should know that the Titanic sank due to it hitting an iceberg, being known as the unsinkable. So the people were coming back from Canada. I think they're coming back to America, and they were close. And apparently, they hit an iceberg. Iceberg beneath the water. People believe that. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. The boat started to sink. Water was coming out everywhere. People running, trying to hide, or running on trying to get to the boats, and the boat actually sank. You know, a lot of people were lost. I can't say the K word because it's YouTube and it's sensitive, but a lot of people lost their, can I say lives? I can say lives. A lot of people lost their lives. And it's sad, unfortunate that we still in 2023 hasn't learned from things that history gives us, that history teaches us. We still haven't learned from history what not to do. And so we continue to do the things that we've known before in the past, but in a new, different way. But this time we're cutting curveballs. We're not really going through the right approvals, the right codes. We're just wanting to do things to explore. And so the Titanic, back going back to the Titanic sank. Everybody was lost, about 1,500 people. Only the rich people were saved, and they got somehow transported to NYC. You see the girl in the movie Rose, and she's on the boat after being on the plank in the middle of the ocean, and she ended up getting back on one of the boats that came and saved her. Ended up out there with a huge diamond that was given to her from her ex lover, I think, or something like that. I don't know. I haven't seen the whole 4 hours of the movie. I can't say I saw it all. I only saw the second part of the movie because it was just too long for me to watch as a kid. The 4 hours just put me back on the when the water happens. Just bring the water. And let me bring up the picture. Do we have the picture? I wanted to show you guys the picture because the picture speaks for itself. Can we just pull up the picture? Hold on. Let's see if we can get that picture because these people need to see um what this is about. Hold on. So as you guys can see, this is the picture Ocean Gate Titan that was recently, I guess, deployed. This is a company that explores the deep blue sea, and they were out to explore the Titanic that sank back in 1908. Now, if you guys are looking at this, can you see yourself in an Ocean Gate Titan capsule going 2.5 miles below the ocean? I mean, at some point, I know that exploration is good, but as a mankind and as a human in 2023, our technology isn't that advanced for us to be traveling places where few people have traveled. We're not there yet. We need like some Wakanda type vibranium type of stuff to really control the water down there. And this was a capsule that was recently dropped off to explore. So if you want to be on this capsule, you pay $250,000 per person, and you can get in this capsule. The capsule is controlled by a Game Boy, which is like kind of like a game console if you're a kid or you're playing like your Xbox or your PS5. um you can control this capsule. It doesn't have GPS, and it only, I guess, transmits, I guess, radio communication through like a computer or something like that to the other person to let them know where to go or how far to go, or to keep going. And something went wrong, and this Ocean Gate Titan capsule either is at the bottom of the ocean, or it's already crumbled up because of the pressure of being dropped down that fast in that many, I guess, said 9 Empire State Buildings under the sea, and being crushed under that amount of pressure of water. And before I even knew about the capsule, I was thinking to myself, well, how come they just can't, just press the door and get out? But come to realize, with doing homework and research, is finding out that this thing is bolted from the it's bolted from the outside to seal you in. And not only that, you have to sign at least 7 waivers in the application where you might die being stupid trying to go 2.5 miles underneath the ocean. Now, it is sad that the 19-year-old son who went with his father because his father was a billionaire and was bored and wanted to explore the undersea ocean, was killed with him. How sad. And also coming to find out that the aunt didn't really, she said that he was nervous about going in the capsule, but he went with his dad because he wanted to bond with him. And so instead of taking your kid to a little league football game, or taking your kid to the carnival, or maybe even Disneyland, you want to take your kid to 2.5 miles underneath the deep blue sea ocean just so you can get a kick out of it. And this is where I think that stupidity has come. Even the Ocean Gate CEO stated that this incident that happened, it's a risk in life living at all, either getting out of bed, either waking up, driving your car. But this has got to be some of the worst behavior I think that humankind has shown since we haven't learned our history. Mankind just seems to just repeat itself. We haven't learned from the past or learned from our ancestors' mistakes on what not to do, not to go and explore in the deep blue ocean. But we got a little update about what's going on. And so we have some audio that the producers managed to get regarding this new update, because apparently there was no banging noises underneath the ocean. Apparently they were already killed coming down from the top of the ocean. And so we got a little audio update. And so we're going to share that with you guys, because I think it's extremely important for us to figure out what happened and what's the new update.
Irony, what officials now presume to be the deaths of the 5 passengers on an undersea sightseeing trip to the resting place of another disaster, the Titanic. Today, the Coast Guard announcing a remotely operated underwater vehicle located debris on the ocean floor. The Coast Guard says it's consistent with a catastrophic implosion of the small vessel. The tail cone found just 1,600 feet from the Titanic shipwreck. The sub's titanium hull apparently succumbing to the crushing depth of more than 2 miles beneath the surface. The sub operator, OceanGate, in a statement saying, "Our hearts are with these 5 souls and every member of their families." But the tragedy already fueling difficult questions about the pursuit of extreme adventures and the cost and demand on others when they go wrong. Tom Costello has late details.
Heartbreak in the North Atlantic. After 4 days of searching for that missing mini-sub named Titan and the 5 people on board, this morning a Canadian deep-sea robot spotted debris from the sub just 1,600 feet from the wreckage of the Titanic, the very destination it was headed for on Sunday.
The debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber.
A catastrophic implosion in the extreme pressure at nearly 13,000 feet below sea level.
The size of the debris field is consistent with that implosion in the water column.
In a statement, OceanGate, the sub's owner, said, "Our hearts are with these 5 souls. We grieve the loss of life and joy they brought to everyone they knew." Stockton Rush, the founder and CEO of OceanGate, billionaire adventurer Hamish Harding, French sub and Titanic experts Paul-Henri Nogelet, wealthy British-Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood, and his 19-year-old son, Suleiman. Suleiman's aunt says the teen was terrified, but went along to bond with his father.
He had a sense that this was not okay, and he was not very comfortable about doing it.
The Coast Guard says the U.S., Canada, France, and Britain will have to determine who will investigate and whether to recover the victims. So close to Titanic's final resting place, where 1,500 people died in 1912. Still to be determined who pays for the search and potential recovery. The company had been diving to the Titanic since 2021, charging customers as much as $250,000 for the experience. But a former employee and other submersible experts had long warned the sub was not certified to dive so deep. In 2018, the chairman of a committee of 38 concerned submersible experts wrote to CEO Rush asking him to adhere to our industry-accepted safety guidelines and protocols for ultimate success. In 2021, Discovery Channel host Josh Gates decided against taking the sub down to the Titanic for his TV show.
I just felt as though the sub needed more time and it needed more testing, frankly.
Investigators don't yet know why the sub imploded. It might have simply surrendered to the crushing pressure nearly 400 times what it is at sea level. Perhaps a fatigue crack developed in the titanium carbon fiber shell after so many deep dives.
It's really hard to imagine. It's one Empire State Building made of lead sitting on top of you at that level.
In a hauntingly cruel twist of fate, Stockton Rush's wife, Wendy, lost relatives in the Titanic more than 100 years ago. Now her husband has lost his life in those same deep waters.
And Tom, we're getting late word now the Navy may have actually detected the sub implosion days ago. What more do we know?
That's right. The Navy tells NBC News that at about the time that contact was lost with that sub, its underwater detection system picked up acoustics that would be similar to, consistent with an implosion or an explosion. But because they wanted to hope for saving lives, they continued with the search and rescue operation.
Wow. We're going to stop it right there. Thank you so much for that. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? People wanting to play like they're Christopher Columbus trying to discover a new world. We haven't mastered the ocean. We haven't mastered trying to go 2.5 miles underneath the ocean. And the fact is, this thing was not regulated. All these red signs, red labels saying, don't go 2.5 miles underneath the ocean. And they just kept on pushing. And the fact is that this company was started in 2021 tells me that this was money that was funded to them some way, somehow, because people got bored and people wanted to start exploring underneath the ocean, like the Little Mermaid, under the sea, trying to figure out how we can see the Titanic. We haven't seen the movies enough. We haven't seen the documentaries enough. We haven't seen the exhibits in New York enough. But yet, we still trying to get 2.5 miles underneath the ocean. And it's sad that 5 people was killed trying to find the Titanic. But what do you guys think? Would you have gotten? That's an excellent question to pose. Would you have traveled, even if you had the money, $250,000, 2.5 miles underneath the ocean? That's a question I want to ask you guys. Does the money matter? Is it more of the thrill? Because last time I checked, the ocean was 90% ocean on this earth, which means that there's so much ocean that we have undiscovered that there's no way, even in probably 2,000 years, humans would have never discovered things underneath the ocean because there's so much. The whole world, if you ever lost anything or anything was ever lost in the world, it will be underneath the bottom of the ocean. All the treasures and golds and jewels and diamonds, that pirate ships and things, it's all underneath the ocean. But we don't know exactly where it is. But we had to come on today because this was an emergency gag review audio episode. And I wanted to talk to you guys about my perspective and why it was not a smart or good idea to travel 2.5 miles, 9 Empire State Buildings down to the bottom of the ocean. And so it just baffles me that we haven't learned. But if you guys just now tuning in, make sure you guys like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Zaydon, for more great content. Listen, we are coming back bigger, bolder than ever. We will be back next week. And I hear that Jason Lee is with Rihanna right now. There's a photo circulating through social media that Jason Lee is with Rihanna. Listen, I want to thank you guys so much for being with me here on this new audio episode. Ocean Gate, the new Titanic. and why man hasn't discovered what's underneath the ocean. So if you guys just not tuning in, make sure you guys like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Zaydon, for more great content. Make sure you guys review this episode and share it with your friends and family because we're coming back, baby. And my album's coming out. Finally, all this hard work I've been putting in, it's coming out, and you guys will get to hear it and listen to it and stream it wherever Zaydon is streaming. So until then, we will be back next week with a new audio episode. But we might be messy next weekend. Next week might be a little bit drama because sometimes when you just reporting on the news, you gotta be a little messy too. And I think that it's time to us pull up some receipts. Okay, we got some receipts on Jason Lee. It's time for us to pull those receipts and share it to you guys because you guys deserve to hear these receipts. There are juicy receipts. But thank you guys so much for tuning with me on this new audio episode. And that's it for me. If you guys have just now tuned in, make sure you guys go back and rewatch this episode, like this video, share this video. It's going to be streaming all over, okay? Because this story is trending. And I'll see you guys next week. But until then, I gotta go. Bye. Bye.